Okay, welcome to That's a Good Cup of Joe, special edition, the Constitution. So here we go. We're going to dive into Federalist paper number 3, continuing the subject concerning dangers from foreign force and influence. All right, again from the Independent Journal, authored by John Jay. It states, to the people of the state of New York, it is not a new observation that the people of any country, like the Americans, intelligent and well-informed, seldom adopt and steadily preserve for many years in an erroneous opinion respecting their interests. That consideration naturally tends to create great respect for the high opinion which the people of America has so long and uniformly entertained of the importance of their continuing firmly united under one federal government, vested with such powers for all general and national purposes. And more attentively, I consider and investigate the reasons which appears to have given birth to this opinion, the more I become convinced that they are cognate and conclusive. Among the many objects to which a wise and free people find it necessary to direct their attention, that of providing for their safety seems to be the first. The safety of the people doubtless has relation to a great variety of circumstances and considerations, and consequently affords such great latitude to those who wish to define it precisely and comprehensively. At present, I mean only to consider it as it respects security for the preservation of peace and tranquility, as well as against dangers from foreign arms and influence. As for dangers of the like kind arising from domestic causes, as the former of these come first in order, it is proper that it should be the first discussed. Let us therefore proceed to examine whether the people are not right in their opinion that the cordial union under an efficient national government affords them the best security that can be devised against hostilities from abroad. The number of wars which have happened or will happen in the world will always be found to be in proportion to the number and weight of the causes, whether real or pretend, which provoke or invite them. If this remark be just, it becomes useful to inquire whether so many just causes of war are likely to be given by united America as by disunited America. For if it should turn out that the united America will probably give the fewest, then it will follow that in this respect that the Union tends most to preserve the people in a state of peace with other nations. In just causes of war, for the most part, arise either from violation of treaties or from direct violence. America has already formed treaties with no less than 6 foreign nations, and all of them except Prussia are maritime, and therefore able to annoy and injure us. She has also extensive commerce in Portugal, Spain, and Britain, and with respect to the two latter, has in addition the circumstances of neighborhood to attend to. It is of high importance to peace of America that she observe the laws of nations toward all these powers, and to me it appears evident that this will be more perfectly and punctually done by one national government than it could by either by 13 separate states or by 3 or 4 distinct confederacies. Because when once an efficient national government is established, the best men in the country will not only consent to serve, but also will generally be appointed to manage it. For although town or country or other contracted influence may place men in state assemblies or senates or courts of justice or executive department, yet more general and extensive reputation for talent and other qualifications will be necessary to recommend men to offices under the national government, especially as it will have the widest field of choice and never experience the want for proper person, which is not uncommon in some states. Hence, it will result in the administration, the political council, and the judicial decisions of the national government will be more wise, systematical, and judicious than those of individual states, and consequently more satisfactory with respect to other nations, as well as more safe with respect to us. Because under the national government, treaties and articles of treaties, as well as laws of nations, will also be expounded in one sense and executed in the same manner, whereas adjudications on the same points of questions in 13 states or in 3 or 4 confederacies will not only accord or be consistent, and that as well as from the variety of independent courts and judges appointed by different and independent governments, as from the different local laws and interests which may affect and influence them, the wisdom of the convention in committing such questions to the jurisdiction of the judgment of courts appointed by the responsible only to one national government cannot be too much commended, because the prospect of present loss or disadvantage may often tempt the governing party in one of the 2 states to serve from good faith and justice, but those temptations not reaching the other states are consequently having little or no influence on the national government. The temptation will be fruitless, and good faith and justice be preserved. The case of the treaty of peace with Britain adds great weight to this reasoning, because even with the governing party in a state which should be disposed to resist such temptations, yet as such temptations may, and commonly do, result from circumstances particular to the state, and may affect the great number of inhabitants, the governing party may not always be able to, if willing, to prevent the injustice mediated, or to punish the aggressors. But the national government, not being affected by those local circumstances, will neither be induced to commit the wrong themselves, nor want power or inclination to prevent or punish its commission by others. So far, therefore, as either design or accidental violations of treaties and the laws of nations afford just causes of war, they are less to be apprehended under one general government than under several lesser ones, and in respect to the former most favors the safety of the people. As to those just causes of war which proceeded from direct and unlawful violence, it appears equally clear to me that one good national government affords vastly more security against dangers of the sort than can be derived from any one other quarter. Because of such violences are more frequently caused by the passions and interests of a part than of a whole, of 1 or 2 states than of the Union, not a single Indian war has yet been occasioned by aggression of the present federal government, feasible as it is, but there are several instances of Indian hostilities having been provoked by the improper conduct of individual states, who either unable or willing to restrain or punish offenses, have given occasion to the slaughter of many innocent inhabitants. The neighborhood of Spanish and British territories, bordering on some states, and not on others, naturally confines the causes of quarrel more immediately to the borders. The bordering states, if any, will by those who, under the impulse of sudden irritation and a quick sense of apparent interest or injury, will be most likely to direct violence to excite war with these nations, and nothing can be so effectually obviate that danger as a national government whose wisdom and prudence will not be diminished by the passions such as acute the parties immediately interested. But not only fewer just causes of war will be given by the national government, but it will also be more in their power to accommodate and settle them amicably. They will be more temperate and cool, and in a respect as well as in others, will be more in capacity to act advisedly than the offending state. The period of states as well as of men naturally disposes them to justify all their actions and opposes their acknowledging, correcting, or repairing their errors and offenses, the national government in such cases will not be affected by this pride, but will proceed with moderation and candor to consider and decide on the means most proper and extricate them from the difficulties which threaten them. Besides, it is well known that acknowledgments, explanations, and compensations are often accepted as a satisfactory form of a strong united nation, which would be rejected by unsatisfactory if offered by a state or confederacy of little consideration or power. In the year 1685, the state of Genoa, having offended Louis the 19th, or the 16th, or the 14th? I'm crazy with Roman numerals. I'll fix that later. Endeavored to appease him, he demanded that they should send their doge. Ha ha! There you go, people. Doge. There you go. Ha ha! Oh my God. Doge. In the year of 1685, send their doge or chief magistrate, accompanied by 4 of their senators, to France, to ask his pardon and to receive his terms. They were obligated to submit to it for the sake of peace. Should he on any occasion either have demanded or have received a like humiliation from Spain or Britain or any other powerful nation. Doge. There you go. Elon Musk. Doge. Department of Government Efficiency, right? So, all things come around. Enlightenment. Doge. That would be an interesting thing to look through, which I will. Because that would explain Elon Musk appearance as Donald Trump's Doge. It's coming. So, the context for which we've just read, would it be easier to negotiate with a foreign body by one federal government, or would it be more better to have 3 or 4 different confederacies doing the same negotiation, but doing such the negotiation will conform to the individual different confederacies or different states based on what they feel that they need for each other. So, being that we're in one body of land, having a unified government force to be an agent, to be the administrator of such treaties, and then be able to share that with the rest of the country. What do you think? One federal government, one united government, serving the people for which it's under. I see the threats. I see the arguments. I see the information and the context for which strengthening a united government with the backing of its people, being able to give deliverables from other nations for their people, setting up treaties. I don't know about you. I prefer treaties as to just deals. Deals, right? Mob talk, right? Deals. Treaties, to my opinion, exhibits a more mature and more thought out process of accommodation between and understanding between two governing bodies. Deals. Makes you want to go on a game show. Well, he does spend all his time watching TV, so maybe Bart Barker was one of his favorite people to look at in the afternoon. But then again, here we are. All right. When we come back, we will be reading through more of the Constitution, and then we'll get into the next chapter, because Federalist paper number 5 will be continuing concerning dangers of foreign force and influence. I'm telling you, that's how important this thing is, people. That is important, making sure that we are handling matters with our allies from across the sea as diplomatic as possible. And having a unified government is the key to ensuring that. So, with that being said, that is today's Good Cup of Joe.